for our next segment, I wanted to show you what a successful mission-based business looks like in action. Would that be interesting to you? Okay, cool, because you've been hearing about my business, but I know sometimes that might, even though I've showed you my progression, and you know where I came from, you might feel like, I don't know if I could achieve that. So what I wanted to do was to bring on some of your peers who have been able to take this material and do their own cool stuff with it. And so then you get to see how it works, and you can stop having to listen to me for a little bit and hear from some of your peers instead. So I think I love just sort of supporting the process of hearing things and getting things from like all these different angles. So it's a very like 360 full body holistic experience. Awesome. So I'm going to bring to the stage in just a moment some of my clients who have created beautiful success in their business. And so we were talking about this earlier at lunch, and it was sort of like, this feels like a celebration, almost like a little bit of a coming out party. Like they have been slogging away and creating their businesses, and it's working. And so I want you guys to see what that looks like so that you can know it is possible and it is doable. So without further ado, I would like to bring up my lovely success panel to the stage. Can I invite everyone to their feet as we call them up onto the stage? So come on up, you guys. Come on up, success panel. Come on. Woohoo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. So I'll take this chair. You guys can come on in, grab a spot. Could we have a mic, please, if we don't have one up here yet? Awesome. Yes, that'll be perfect. So, ooh, you guys look like a rainbow. Very pretty. I didn't plan that, I swear. I'm not that crazy about clothing. Don't they look pretty, though? It's really fun to have you guys up here. Hi. Very exciting. Okay, so what I would love to do is first I'm going to introduce or let them introduce themselves to you so you know who you're talking to. And then I asked them if they would share a little bit of their progression, what it looked like before they started doing this work and putting these pieces into action, and what they've been able to achieve. Because again, I think it's important to sort of lay that pathway of like what it looks like and that it is doable. So, would you guys please share your names and your websites? Good to practice that, right? And a little bit about what you do, a sentence. This doesn't need a green? Okay, sorry. Okay, so we'll do that first, and then we'll hear from them. So we'll go down the line.
Wow. Hi.
Take it in, sister.
Yes.
Pretty cool, right? It's very different from being in the audience.
Wow, yes. I just want to thank all of you for seeing me and all of us here. And I'm Lucenda Kinch, lucendakinch.com, and I'm a prosperity branding mentor. And I help visionary, soul-centered women entrepreneurs, like many of you in this room, craft stunning websites to ignite your spirit-rich business, including visual branding, websites, and personal brand photography. So I have come a long way, baby.
Hang on. So, love, we're just going to introduce down the line first, and then we'll come back to what you have to say. If that's right. We'll hold the clapping till we've heard from everyone, okay? So just your name and who you are, and then we'll come back to hear a little bit more. I have witnessed success panels before where people didn't introduce themselves, and I was like, who are they? I want to know a little bit more. So we'll just go down the line first.
All right, thanks. Liz Vequist, WatertownHolisticHealth.com. And I help successful entrepreneurs and professional women get slim, fit, and sexy so that they can fully embody their brand and step into the spotlight.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michelle Hart from MichelleWhiteHart.com, and I am a video visibility liberator, and I help women entrepreneurs be embodied on video and truly embody their inner high priestess so that they can make magnetic videos and teach them how to make their videos as well.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Cristelle, soul-centered prosperity.com, and I support holistic practitioners to align their body, mind, and soul purpose to make a living doing what they love.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Leanna Strelkoff from heartfulspeaking.com, and I help purposepreneurs become confident, inspiring speakers so they can attract exactly the ideal clients, make a shit ton more money while changing the lives of everyone in the room.
Round of applause for the ladies! I'm having such a proud mama moment. Amazing to see you guys, what you've stepped into. And like, aren't they radiating a lot of light too? Yeah. It's so fun to witness. Okay, so now I would love to hear more about your stories, like where you were before this work, also maybe some of the things that were stopping you, and then how there were possibilities that you couldn't ever even imagine. So, Cinda, we'll start with you and we'll go down the line.
All right, then.
Grab it, sister.
All right, I got it. Woo! So, I took Christina's Find Your Ecstatic brand program last year, and then went to Ecstatic Wealth. But in Find Your Ecstatic brand, that was the beginning of my major transformations in my life, and I really was able to weave all of my gifts and passions together into this beautiful package that I could offer very holistically. And it just clicked into place. Click, 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 as she says. And, from there, I got the confidence to quit my corporate job, which at the time I thought was my dream job, being the web developer of a very successful chain of natural foods stores, and I was the visual branding person and did marketing for them. And I quit my job, and I was desiring to step into Confident Business Diva after Ecstatic Wealth. It was, I was feeling the call. And the money wasn't quite there. And Christina really saw my potential. She really saw something in me, and she really was lovingly on me about that.
That's a euphemism, I think.
And so I really sat with it. And to make a long story short, I was able to bring in 2 clients, jump in the program, and then things just drastically changed from there. I feel like if I hadn't have stepped into that program, I wouldn't be at the successful place I am now.
Would you like to share any of your numbers?
I will share my numbers. I'm a walking testimonial of 50K in 6 months. Thank you. Thank you. And it's huge because I'm on track to make 6 figures this year.
Shazam!
Thank you.
Now, you shared with me at lunch what you made the year previously.
Yes, so part-time corporate, a little bit of freelance here and there, about $22,000 on average for the last few years.
In a year.
In a year, yes.
She doubled that in 6 months.
Yeah.
Do you see what's possible? And also, when she was saying I lovingly encouraged her to come in, sometimes my tough love comes in a moment, and it was a little like, girlfriend, get your ass in here. Partially because Lucenda makes incredible websites, and that's a very tangible offering. And I knew that it was going to be such a no-brainer. And tell me, where did a lot of that 50K come from?
Yes, a lot of it in the Confident Business Diva community and the Christina Marassi community. So
it's really interesting. Like, Lucenda she told me that she just quit her job, so it didn't make sense to potentially invest in some work together. But in that investing in some work together, she got access to all these clients that she wouldn't have access to normally. And everything shifted. And that's why I was tough on her, because it was such a no-brainer for me, but she couldn't see it. And that's what mentors have been able to do for me. I've needed it, and then now I get to do that for others. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Well said, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yay, round of applause for Lucenda!
Conquering my visibility issues right here, right now. So I was in Find Your Ecstatic brand last year and came to this event last year, Ecstatic Wealth, and I definitely felt the call to continue on with Christina. I had definitely a lot moved within Find Your Ecstatic brand, but it felt like there were all these pieces that I hadn't quite put together, and I needed more. I needed more support from a group, and I needed more guidance from a mentor. And I really wanted to work with Christina, particularly because I felt like if I just took a business nuts and bolts class or coaching program, which actually I had done before and just hadn't done the work. So I felt like there were blocks and fears within me that was stopping me from doing the work. And I felt like Christina would be able to help me get through them and move forward. And she did.
I said, you might want to tell them what you did in your marketing, because I didn't really know that visibility was such a huge piece for you. How did you market your business as you were working through your visibility issues?
Oh. Well, in 2012, my marketing was all kind of dry and more corporate and boring, and I hated marketing for that reason, because it was boring. After working with Christina, I started bringing in more of myself, more of my authentic voice, being more creative and just having fun with my marketing. And so I did I do group cleanses, and for the summer one, it was get the skinny on cleansing, and I marketed it with wearing get into your bikini for the summer, and I marketed it with rock your bikini with a green smoothie video.
So let me just reiterate that. She wore a bikini in her marketing from someone who said she had visibility issues. Do you get how awesome that is? And did you rock that cleanse?
Yeah, absolutely.
Girl, nicely done.
Yeah, and I put the videos and pictures all over Facebook, and
she's got a rockin' bod, by the way.
And ironically, the thing I was resisting most in my health coaching practice was weight loss.
Another one of my clients that had a little bit of resistance.
A lot. And I found out very effective. That was what people wanted, and I was able to give them what they needed in other ways.
Totally.
So, yeah.
So, can I request one more story from you?
Sure.
What happened for you before we even started our official work together in Confident Business Diva?
Okay, so for me, I felt the call to do Confident Business Diva even before I came to this weekend. I was pretty sure I was going to walk out doing it, but the money was a big stretch for me. I did not have the money in the bank to pay for it, so I had to put it on a credit card and figure it out later. And because it was such a big stretch for me, I went home, freaked out, and for a few days, and then hustled my butt and made $9,000 before the program started.
Can I get a Shazam on that one? I remember going, because we'd done the event, and then it was a little while before we started the program, and I didn't know Liz very well. And she's like, because I encourage people to share their numbers, because that's so taboo in our society, right? And I think it's really important. We got to get comfortable. It's our money, honey, like Morgana was sharing yesterday. And she kept making all this money. I'm like, we haven't even started, and she's already made more than the program cost. And so I was like, we don't think that's possible. But she hustled. And one last story, like, where did the majority of that 9,000 come from?
Half of it came, it was actually almost 10,000. So half of it came from a high-end client who I created a custom package and sold it to this client. And I just I didn't have the balls, honestly, to do it before.
Okay, I didn't know this story. After the event, when she was freaked out about the money, she went and created a 5K package and she sold it. Do you see how easy it can be if we allow it and we clear the pathway? Nicely done, sister.
Yeah.
Can I get a round of applause for Liz Bequist? Thank you so much, sister.
So before meeting Christina, I knew nothing about business. I was supporting my hobby of somatic movement coaching with people to be embodied and unwind patterning and feel healthier and wholer. And I was like, I got to get going. I'm never going to move forward. So I was studying Christina's videos, but was like resisting the whole thing of being out there and wanting it. And I didn't go to Flip Your Switch. I was like, no, I can't do it. And then I was like, I have to sign up for Confident Business Diva because there's nothing else out there that is speaking to me. So I almost had to beg her to take me because she was like, I don't know about you. And I was like, no, I can do this. I can do this. And I was trying to convince her.
I forgot that part, and you're just surprising me now. But it was true because I told you that the discovery conversations are like, you want to explore with someone to hear what their dreams are and see if you guys are fit to work together. In my conversation with Michelle, I wasn't sure. Remember, I don't do anything if it doesn't feel like it's in alignment. So I was like, I don't know if it's a fit. I don't know if you're ready. I totally forgot that. But
yeah, well, I didn't even know how to express my dreams. That's what was sort of tipping you off. I was like, I don't know. But I just knew that I was so drawn to your videos. I was just like, I don't know what she's doing. I didn't even know it was considered a business video. So then I told her my background, and she goes, oh, you should help women be embodied and be comfortable on video and help them make their videos. And I was like, I can't do that. So I instantly resisted her and said, no, I can't do that. I was an editor.
Okay, I'm going to jump in for just a second. Oh, you were just about to say that. Sorry.
Yeah,
Tell them about your
I'd
background.
worked 20 years in the film industry as an editor, and I didn't know how to shoot videos. I made a documentary or two, but,
Hold up! I'm stepping in.
I mean, I did it.
Do you guys get how hilarious this is? So I'm having a conversation with this woman who has done 20 years of film editing, made her own documentary, and has been studying like embodied movement, somatic movement. Isn't it almost like obvious what could happen there? Videos, getting comfortable on video, and how to edit them in a unique and interesting way. Do you think she would know something to help us entrepreneurs do more creative marketing? Yes. Thank you. Okay, back to you.
Where were you all? So I decided to be a health coach first in the program because of the portal. I was like, oh yeah, food and exercise and it was fun actually. And then it was like, well, I got to make videos now of myself, and I realized how much of a visibility issue I had. And then it was like, oh man, this is what I need to do. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to do the videos for people, for women, and then help them make their videos, teach them. But first I had to do it myself, and that was just so terrifying. And so I've basically learned how to do that, and now I help women do it. And it's the most satisfying thing I could ever imagine that I would ever do. And I just, beyond grateful. And I moved very slowly in the first round of Confident Business Diva and wasn't going to sign up a second time. I just thought, well, I'm on the right path. I know where I'm going. And then came to this event last year, saw Christina in action, and I was like, holy shit. I could not believe you in action. And I was like, God, this is my teacher, mentor, coach. And so I signed up again. I had no idea I would do that. And it's just been incredible. And you told me to get more gregarious with my editing. And I was like, God, I never thought I was a good enough editor. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm having a blast doing these things that I never thought I was good enough at. So I did my launch finally. And the money was not my biggest accomplishment. It was visibility. And I got 178 opt-ins on that launch, which apparently is really good for a first launch.
Yes, it is.
1,000+ subscribers. I don't even know where they happened. The number appeared one day. And JV opportunities and a lot of engagement from people really telling me how much I'm inspiring them to make their videos and be visible. And it's just, I feel really, really awesome about it. What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got a man too. That's right. That's right. One of my intentions in Confident Business Diva was, if I'm going to start looking like all dolled up like Christina, that's part of the program, you know. Gotta let the feminine out.
Hang on. Not to look like me.
No, not to look like you, but you know.
Okay, thank you.
Let the feminine out and
Thank you.
own it. Yeah, exactly. I don't look like you. I look like me. And I just knew, you know what, this is going to help me attract my soulmate. I just know it. And I did. It's a side benefit.
That's awesome. Thank you. See, you never know what's going to happen when you step into being a confident business diva. Lots of possibilities. Awesome. Thank you, Michelle.
I'm Cristelle, and I have a successful health and lifestyle studio in the Bay Area. And I've been an entrepreneur for 20-something years, and I did the Find Your Ecstatic brand with Christina, and I'm one of those stories of the like zig to zag to around in a spiral and backed into my brand. And
We call that backing up into the brand.
and resisted along the way. So in Find Your Ecstatic brand, the first time I coached with Christina, she was like, what about business coaching? And I was like, yeah, someday I'll help holistic practitioners with their businesses. Because I spoke earlier about how I just kind of took that for granted, like everybody already had that. So I was like, that's not something special. So I was like, well, I'll do back pain, because that's been my expertise for over 20 years, as well as I have this great mess to success story. So it seemed obvious and easy to start there and to get in motion. So I worked through the process with the back pain, and she was always like, it doesn't feel quite it, but okay. She supported me in going forward. And then I did the launch, and at the end of that was the anniversary of my older sister's death. And death has been a huge part of my life experience, and I felt really clear that I needed to go deeper into death around the anniversary of my sister's death for deeper healing for myself and for my work. And so I started doing a lot of meditation practices and dove deeply into what I called at the time the death field, because Christina does work around the birth field. And I was like, I'm going into the death field. And so I had just done this launch of the Back Pain Freedom Method. And at the end of that, I'm in this death field. And in my meditation, I get this insight: set down Back Pain Freedom Method. You're done. What? And I had committed to fully embrace whatever insight I had gotten from that in healing the death wound. And so in that space of being in the death field, this new body of work became clear, because part of the challenge with the Back Pain Freedom Method is in back pain, so often what I was working on is people's money issues and their challenges with their creativity, their connections with their family. And at the last Ecstatic Wealth event, Christina had said something to me. She's like, I have this feeling you're supposed to work with holistic practitioners about wealth consciousness. And I was like, yeah, someday. Great. So then in the death field, it lands this body of work called Soul-Centered Prosperity. And it was like one of those moments of total alignment for me, of being like, this is what I was designed for. And this is what she had been telling me all along.
I am always often right in the end.
So, but for me, it was getting in motion. I knew also that Back Pain Freedom Method wasn't the end-all be-all for me, but I knew that if I got in motion and chose something and moved forward, that I would get the clarity. And so that has landed, and it's been so powerful, and it really is bringing together all of my gifts, all of those weird things that I've done along the way, as well as my own life experiences, and it really feels so amazing. And, the piece that she's about to ask me for.
My mouth didn't open.
So, like I said, I have a studio in the Bay Area, And in that death field, I was reorganizing my business because I had this feeling something new was coming. So I ended some programs I was doing and raised my prices and let go of clients. And there was a whole recalibration going on in my business. And in that time, I was freaking out. I wasn't making as much money. I thought I wasn't making as much money. I wasn't working as hard. I wasn't as busy. And then at the end of the program, I looked back and I was like, I made more money with less work because I let go of that stuff that I was holding on to because I thought I had to do it and I thought it would be easy.
Numbers, please?
Oh, yes, that's what I was trying to get to. So,
funny.
in 6 months, I made $42,000.
Shazam!
And have come to that place of ease. All along the way, Christina kept being like, I wish you could just be in the place of ease, because I was always in struggle. I was addicted to struggle. And she kept being like, I wish you could find the place of ease. And when this new body of work came through, we were on a call one day, like on Wednesday, and I told her what had shifted. And by Friday, I had my opt-in page ready. And it was like I had channeled the marketing copy, and it was like, bam! There's the ease when you're aligned.
Let me just jump into that. So for those of you who have had this experience of creating the business and trying to have the vision, and then what do you call it, and what's the body of work, and what's the program, and then I got to make the opt-in pages, and then I got to write the copy, and then I got to let people know about this, it is not a fast process. From Wednesday to frickin' Friday, she'd gotten the download, got the name, wrote the copy, and frickin' made the opt-in pages. That is click, 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 Shazam! That is awesome. Round of applause for Cristelle! Did that feel complete, Cristelle, or is there anything else?
What's that?
Does that feel complete?
Feels good, thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
Hi. It is such an honor to be up here with you ladies, and I feel this incredible sisterhood. It's one of the most special things that I got out of CBD, is this community of women who just would lay down their lives for me, lay down their bodies to make me a bridge. And I'm really, really grateful to be up here with you. So I actually met Christina 11 years ago. I had just fallen out of a tree and been paralyzed in a climbing accident. And Christina and I are both in the ecstatic dance community in LA. And I met her through a mutual friend, and she became my primary body worker for years.
As the hippie healer Burning Man girl.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be great for you guys to hear from Lyanna, who has gone through the progression with me.
So for several years, I worked with her, sometimes even twice a week, and went on my recovery journey with her. And then her work started to change. And at first, I was really crabby because I was losing my healer, and I was really like, no, you can't change. This is about me. And but I was on her mailing list, and so I got to witness this evolution. And she started with the essential oils, and she was building this business, and I was like, oh my God, what is this girl doing? and then she became the heart shot photographer, and I couldn't take my eyes off her. Like, I was so intrigued by her process. Now, all during these years, both when I was working with her as a healer and as I was watching her, I was on my own journey. I came out of a rehab hospital determined that I would never again in my life do work that wasn't purposeful, that my life was unbelievably precious, and that my time on this planet was short, and that I would never work outside my purpose again. So I took all of my skills at that time and created an autobiographical one-woman show and opened it here in LA for a 6-month run, and then ended up becoming a national touring theater artist. So I toured off and on for 6 years. And from that was born a speaking career, and I ended up on the national speaking circuit, commanding $5,000 to speak for an hour and a half. And the whole time that I was doing this work and that I was watching Christina, there was something missing in my work, and I couldn't figure out what it was. There was some, I don't know, it was disconnected. There was something not coming together for me. And I think that's why I was so fascinated to watch Christina's process. So finally, I came to her and I was like, I want to work with you. And she was like, really? And she had just started coaching. Like, she was moving from the heart shot photographer into what she's doing now. And I came to her and said, I want to work with you. So I invested big for the first time in my life in like anything like that, to be a private client of Christina's. And I spent 2 months resisting everything she said to me. Like, I dug in my heels so strong. I sometimes feel like I totally get the reward for her most resistant client ever. And very early on, she was talking about, story is such a big part of what you do and such a big part of your skill set. And there's this place for teaching others. And I was like, I don't know. Because I had this inspirational piece. I had been spending now years transforming lives from the stage. And I wanted to do that. And it was like, so I left that program kind of unclear and kind of crabby and like, I still don't know what I'm doing. But Christina asked me about 6 months later to speak at Flip Your Switch, her first live event. And something happened in that room for me. And I landed and I started offering private VIP programs to purposepreneurs to teach them how to craft signature talks that would authentically reflect them and truly change the lives of the people that they touched. And all of a sudden, I had a business. And part of what I realized is that I knew how to connect with an audience of hundreds of people. I knew how to tell an alchemical story and create true transformation in the room, but I did not know how to make money. I did not know how to run a business. And so I started learning how to do that. Fast forward about 6 months later, we're all at Ecstatic Wealth, and I'm seeing my dear friend on stage, and suddenly I'm like, holy fucking shit, I gotta get back into another program with this woman. God damn. And I just know, like, my body's shaking. I mean, there is no denying the truth of this. So out comes the credit card. And and I sign up for Ecstatic Wealth. And by this point, because I've been working with private clients, I have a son. I have a 3-year-old boy. And I needed to leverage my time. So I came into Ecstatic Wealth, came into CBD, and I had a mission, which was to do a formal launch, my first one ever, and launch a group program so that I could be the mother that I wanted to be.
A high-level group program, mind you, not a low-price one.
A platinum level group program. I wanted 4 people. And so within the first 2 months of the program, I launched, and I filled my program. It was a $14,000 launch. It was more money than I had ever made in one fell swoop in my whole life. And now I get the incredible pleasure, having now learned how to do that, I'm actually circling back around and am re-embracing in a totally new and integrated and complete way the inspirational work that I do. And I could not have done that without the grounding of going through my speaking practice and creating and offering and being successful in that business. Now they're integrated. And I get to do this other work.
So let me just jump in there. I thought, Leanna, it would be great for you guys to hear from her for many different reasons, obviously. But one of them was that she's very inspirational. She'd already been doing that on stage. But when we were doing our work together, it was like there was something that needed to happen, and we were looking for the portal problem. And it was like, well, storytelling isn't necessarily going to be that concrete and tangible, but helping people create their signature talk and make money from the stage is tangible. Like many of my clients resisted, okay, I'll do it. She made some money, and she gave it her all. And because Leanna is such a transformational being and always growing and evolving, I'm sure like most of you in this room, we continue to do some private work together, and we just got to this place, and we both saw it of like, oh, it's time now. we can let go of like that concrete and tangible signature talk piece. And now we're going to circle back around to this inspirational piece, but you are a different person. And you are going to hold that differently. And now, you're going to create amazing impact and money from this place. But because you've become the person who can do that, by going through the transformation of creating the business around the concrete thing that brought in the money. Kind of what I've been saying, right? So such a great example of that. There's one other story I wanted her to share, because when you did your launch, there was kind of a cool story.
Yeah. So I offered 2 free calls, and I did all these videos. I did a bunch of them with my son to, direct people into the free call. And we were about a week out from the program actually starting, and I had 1 client. And I was like, this is not, how do I do a group program with 1 person? This is not going to work. And I had a scheduled call with Christina, and I was in this fear and on the brink of failure kind of feeling. I was collapsing. I was totally imploding. And Christina was like, wait a second. We're not going to go down that hole. And she encouraged me actually to get angry, to get pissed off about how hard this was being and how hard making money had always been, and the fears inside me and the things inside me that were getting in the way. And all of a sudden, I was furious. And she had me roaring. I'll never forget it. I was in the office in the house, and I had the door closed because my son and my husband were in the other room. And I'm I got my head between my knees, and I am roaring with all my might,
For how long?
How long?
Yeah.
Oh, God. 15 minutes or something?
I'd forgotten that part.
Just devouring this imploding energy. And when we finally came to the end of the roaring, Christina said to me, right now, when you get off the phone, I want you to write the story of how these clients come into your life. Because that's what I do. I tell stories. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. And we got off the phone, and I opened my computer immediately, and I started to write the story of the various places these last 3 clients came from. And as I'm writing my story, I hear my computer, my mail program go ding. And I'm thinking, well, okay, I'll check that in a second. I'm too busy writing the story. I get to the end of the story, I open my mail program, and there is an email from a woman who had said no 2 days before, changing her mind and asking me where to send her check. And within a week before the start of the program, the last 2 clients showed up. And everybody paid in, and that was that, 14 grand.
Woo! So, do you see what this can look like? And do you see how it doesn't have to be hard? And it's usually us that's making it so hard, and there's a lot of moving and shifting that needs to happen, and that we can all use our unique ways to make that happen. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So round of applause for Leanna. Thank you. So let's pass the mic back. I'd like to finish up. If you guys have a sentence or two, knowing what you know now, if you could give a piece of advice to yourself back then, what do you think that would be? Let yourself be inspired around that. It's the first thing that comes to mind.
Trust, faith, believe in myself.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you.
Let go of your old money stories, and you can create new ones.
And put on a bikini. Just kidding. Thank you.
Well, I remember you said to me, just be open to attracting all the resources that you need, because I was starting a little late and I missed certain things. Just trust. And I kind of yeah, right, whatever. And then I started to do it, and I'd go into all the masterminds, anything. I'd just be open to get whatever I need. And I started attracting everything I needed in resources, and I just way more open to expanding now as a result.
Thank you.
Someday is today.
Yay!
I think I would have to say 2 feet in. That I kept putting a few toes in the water and then taking myself out, and then putting a couple more toes in the water and taking myself out, and then maybe a foot, and then taking myself out. And it made the process so much harder and so much longer. And lo and behold, I ended up exactly where I wanted to be, and I could have gotten here so much faster and with so much less pain if I had just been willing to go 2 feet in and stay in the damn pool.
Yay! Awesome. So, was that interesting for you guys? Yeah. Do you feel inspired? Yeah. What are some of the pieces that you heard that's inspired you, if you want to shout them out? Resistance is futile. Yes, I was thinking that myself. Let go of the money stories. Awesome. Be open to receiving. Yes. Stay in the pool. Get wet, my friends. Embrace your story. Yes. Trust.
The pieces will come together.
Ooh, the pieces will come together. We create our own obstacles. Yes, we saw that a couple times. What was over here?
Purpose needs to be bigger than the fear.
Yes, the purpose needs to be bigger than the fear. Yes, we need, like our passion and our purpose, we need to feed that more than feeding the fears. Absolutely.
You don't have to start where you're going to end up.
Ooh, good one. You don't have to start where you're going to end up. Amen. Anything else?
Own your skills.
Own your skills. Yes. What did you hear around that?
Just all these women had all the skills already, but they needed to recognize it in order to make money off it.
All of these women had these skills already, but they needed to recognize it in order to make money at it. This is such a theme, isn't it, at this event? Really about that ownership piece. Like, it's already here. And it kind of weaves back to the exercise that we had around being confused and knowing exactly what you need to do. The confusion is a defense mechanism, and it's keeping you stuck. What if I said to you, and if you did know what to do, what would you do? Start playing that game with yourselves. I can't wait to hear what happens. Anything else that inspired you or you heard? Dare to embrace your beauty and show up. Totally. Yes. Yes. You are ready right now. Your niche needs you. Yes. Where did you hear that piece? You felt it. Yes. It's in the aura. Anything else? Cool. So, may I invite all of us to stand and to connect with Leanna and have a moment of, I want you guys to really feel this, like this is a celebration. It's a graduation as well. Look how pretty. So pretty. Okay, so may I request a round of applause for my incredible success panel! Woo! Feel it, ladies, feel it. Take it in, yes, you can bow. Yay! Breathe it in. Standing ovation, my friends. Yeah. That is so awesome. Thank you, you guys, for witnessing and seeing them and celebrating them. Thank you so much. So appreciate you all. It was fun to share the stage.